And salutations, everyone. It is time again for another road lease taken video. This is another one of those like miss number ones. I used to run it all the time before Sharn, and Sharn really changed the experience points requirements for a lot of the TR people. Sharn just made it where the experience is much more reliable to get to in a reasonable time. But I used to run these every life for ages, and now I run them kind of every once in a while. But I do still really enjoy them. So less traveled, yes, but not never traveled. Not like some of the other ones, like the Wayland quests or whatever. So I am going to run through the not through the entirety of the Explore Zone, but I'm going to run through the Explore Zone in the sense to kind of, if there's names along the way that could be important, I'll show them off, stuff like that. And the reason why is because you're going to need items from the Explore Zones to get into the Steelerstone Capstone Explore Zone, so you can carry on with the final quest in the chain in the event that you'd like to do that. This chain does not get ran very much anymore because it's for craftable armor, and the craftable armor did not keep up with like some of the equivalencies of like the Ravenloft armor or Sharn armor, stuff like that. I think it would be really easy to go back through and retouch some of these armors to make them armors that also include the ability to become part of the Sharn set. I think that would be, or Sharn set or Ravenloft set. I think those would be really good. A really good option to bring life back into this chain. Maybe with a few other armor upgrades that are now much more common. But as it is right now, this just doesn't get run very often at all. Scamore! It's Scamore. How you doing, buddy? You're having a good day. Also, these quests can be, for the level, very, very challenging compared to the older the quest is, typically the less difficult the quest is, right? Because the monster difficulty is stepped up and stuff like that. As new content comes out, because the new content is balanced towards the new power creep as opposed to the power creep of the time when those old quests were put out. And because the quests don't get retouched very often, it's typically set up in such a way where the newer the quest is, the more difficult. However, this quest pack was so much more difficult for the time that it doesn't really have that same level of downshift that other quests do for being older. Oh, you're already in the party. Yo.
The Kobolds are frightened by your intrusion and direct you to speak with their chief.
Alright, the family have just decided that they're going to play Fortune Street now. Alright, so one of the first things about this quest, it starts off a little bit weird, right? There's no action at the beginning. And what happens here is that we got to go talk to this bro. No matter what we tell this bro, all these kobolds are going to become hostile. But these are like old school kobolds, right? These are like waterworks kobolds. So what people like to do is what they would call pad their kill count right here by getting a big lead of kobolds' deaths, because they count as regular deaths, and considering that a great victory. But, yeah, don't let that fool you. But you have to go over there and get this key so you can open this door over here. Alright, fall down the hole, running around. Here is a shrine. If you have access to D-Door, you can use that later for the low cost of rerunning through the quest. Not too bad. And then eventually what's going to happen is we're going to find the great Kobold. And we're going to jump into its mouth.
The room before you is
Look at this giant kobold.
Resembles the head of a kobold.
It's truly massive. Alright, so I'm going to put on my feather fall and I'm going to fly across just because I'm lazy. Not that you can't just jump down and walk through, but... Why do that when I have wings? Alright, so we got a little lava. We have lots and lots of fire methods. So what I like to do is take a second, get my fire shield cold up and running. Basically run through all this mess. And when I get on these stairs, this is where I like to throw down AoEs or whatever I have to kind of help with these various methods. I'd rather just deal with them all at once towards the end. They're not that difficult. Negative energy stuff tears them up. Obviously cold tears them up. Cleaves, etc. Strike through would probably do a great job. You have a bunch of options, right? Okay. I'm also gonna top off my healing before I jump in here. Alright, so this next area actually is the first real fight of the quest. So as we run up here, this doorway is gonna close up on us, and we're gonna have waves and waves of trash methods. We're gonna clear these waves of trash methods, and then Elemental is gonna pop up and like, I'm going to eat you. And that's where you have to just like say no. Not without buying me dinner first. On Reaper mode, it is typically a champion, and it is usually relatively scary. But today, it's just gonna be a regular old red name elemental. The fire or the Fear Reaper was scarier, I guess. Helper, pick up our stuff. In addition to miscellaneous junk that happens to have fallen down from everywhere, there's also a chest. This chest at the time was top of the line. It was a big boy chest for a long time. Now, not so much. Now it's kind of just whatever random junk chest. But in the Wayback Machine, I feel like I saw +4 tome come out of there once. Possibly a bigger tome. I don't know. I want to say it's +4. But again, when this quest first came out, that was a big deal. Be a little bit careful going up this quest. The way this ramp is made, it's a little bit confusing and not the best at helping you figure out where you need to go to actually make it up. They've gotten much better at that kind of design in since then. So I literally ran into the Kobold like last week.
Beyond the gate,
Sweet. I like this quest. Like all the quests that people think are bad, though. It's a very Samius way of looking at things. Alright, we're going to throw a circle on this guy. See if we get lucky. So as a caster, and predominantly a caster for most of the DDO career, whatever you want to call it, knowing when bad guys are going to cast Death Ward on your otherwise necro-focused characters is a real important skill that you need to hone and develop as a caster. So you notice that even though I really didn't have an opportunity to grab several guys at the time I cast the spell, that Circle of Death, I did it anyway because I knew the Kobold Shaman, one of the very first things these Kobold Shamans do is they cast the Mass Death Ward. So even if I only caught one guy, which I think we actually caught two, I think he walked around the corner and got caught, it would still be valuable, more valuable than not having access to that spell at all because of them casting the Death Ward. So what I'm trying to say is this is one of the quests where the monsters are going to cast Death Ward. And if you're going to be a necro-focused person, you need to use your stuff early and often and try to get past try to get them before they can get the Mass Death Ward out. Yeah, that's like the best way to put it, I think. Just like that. Get them first. Typically, I don't like taking out monsters until they've attacked me in general, but in some cases, make an exception. This quest is one of them. Alright, we're gonna get up. Ice Storm, etc. Dancing Ball, all the good crowd control stuff is gonna be down in this pit. We're gonna get the monsters to come to us down here. You don't have to go down this pit, you can also go up the ramp, but whatever you pick, just realize that there's monsters going to come from the other direction as well, so you need a good plan to separate, divide, and conquer. Otherwise you can get real easily overwhelmed, especially if you're like me and you jump a lot. It's really easy to get kobold surfing. It's a good way to get murdered. Normally I wouldn't shrine, but I'm going to go ahead and shrine here because I am using my mana a little bit more heavily than I'm used to. Hamster Thrower, welcome to the stream. Alright, don't forget your loot chest. Also, the reason you kind of have to make that decision on whether or not you're going to shrine is because these ghost shrines, unlike a lot of other ghost shrines, they'll just time out after like 30 seconds or so. So if you're going to use them, you typically, in my opinion, use them early, get their effect. Nothing worse than going back thinking you're going to make it and then end up shrining for like 8 of your 10 seconds of shrine and then not be able to actually get the effect because it just waffles out from underneath you. Alright, we're gonna get ambushed by some doggos. Personally, I'm not that worried about the dogs in general. Give me another batch. I can get all of them in here. I'm gonna show you why here in a second. Alright, so right here is one of the actual well thought through encounters of the Dido dungeon. There's a pit trap here, well disguised. And about half of the dogs will fall down that trap forever, and the other half apparently are going to jump over like ninjas. I feel like it's more common to get those dogs to fall down that pit trap and die. Speaking of falling down that pit trap and dying, be careful, you can do that too. It is not out of the realm of possibility. I've seen many people get murdered in that pit. I've picked up many a stone. Try to look down the pit? Sure. I think we only caught one wolf down there. If you do fall down the pit, you can jump in this corner to here, to here, to here, and get back out. You can also walk across once it's exploded. Let's see how much healing this actually... Oh, 20. Alright, our second optional? Yeah, you can get back out. There's, I said the little jump through area. So our second optional is about to tick off. I don't remember how many tainted kobolds there you have to slay to start with. But if you basically kill all the kobolds you encounter between here and the start of the quest to here, about this time is where you're going to run out of kobolds. So not run out of much. Heal. Now this is where you actually have to decide. Do you want your XP now or do you want it later? Because this kobold over here is the last tainted kobold you need. But you can get it later. Like, you don't have to get that kobold now. You can wait until after this maze. Which a lot of people get really frustrated in this maze. So, let me explain what's going on here. All these lights are unlit, right? Or a bunch of these are unlit. What we want to do is light all of the lights in this maze area. Okay? But what's going to happen is we're going to step forward. And we're going to, whichever way we're facing, we're going to go 2 dots forward. And if we pick a dot on the left, we're going to go one square to the left. And if we pick the square on the right, we're going to go 1 square to the right. Now the colors around these crystals, so like the yellow over here on this one, or the red, or the inside crystal green, purple, red in here, those are all individual based off of the client. So say I'm sitting here and Remington is sitting here and we're both looking here. Mine will be this red, green, yellow, purple, blue, red, and his could be orange, purple, or blue, purple, etc. So you can't guide people through by telling them the colors. Okay, that's one of the things that really mess people up. The other thing that messes people up is you always re-log back in when you come through the puzzle facing west. Okay, so even though I went forward 2 spaces and 1 over, when I stepped in I was facing north, but when I re-logged in or rezoned in, I'm facing west. That messes with a lot of people. So when you start planning out your moves, right, be sure to find out which orientation you're facing when you plan your moves. So like for example here, I want to turn both of those are all on. I want to turn this one on, right? So that's 2 forward and 1 to the left from here. But when I poof back, I'm going to be facing west. Now that really doesn't matter for that move. That's one move, right? But let's say I want to turn this one on. So to get this one turned on, I have to go like from this square or this square, right? So this square here or this square. So to get to these 2 squares from here, I have to go to this square and up to here, or I have to go, how would I get to that square from here? up to this square. Right, exactly. Like how a chest knight moves in a chess set. Again, the difficulty is when you plan your second move, right? So to get to this square right here, I'm going to go here, face west, and then I'm going to turn back to the north, take the leftmost crystal, which will put me here, and then I'm going to turn around to the south, and I'm going to step on the right crystal. Alright, clear as mud, clear as mud. Let's do it. Poof, poof, poof. And there we are. Now we're in the one right next to us. Alright? This puzzle messes with people. Don't be one of those people who don't understand. Just take your time, be really patient, and realize that it's okay. You just have to take your time. The other thing to think about is almost always, if you don't know what you're doing, just move to the north as much as you can. Alright? So, like we're right here, I want to get out of this maze. Somebody else is doing the maze, I don't care. I want to get out. So I go north, I turn to the north, I can't go any further forward, but here, if I go this way, I'm going to go two forward and one to the north. Ploop. Now I'm out of the maze. Right? So now I can get out. That is an important thing for a lot of people psychologically to realize that they're not trapped. They can get out, and you just have to know what to do. Always, if you just want to leave, head north. Okay? So, I'm going to quickly zoom through here, knock out this puzzle, figure out my moves. I want to do these two, so we're going to go to this square. If you are turning the puzzle on, make sure that when you leave the room, you don't leave the puzzle turned off. Alright, so I need to do this one. So again, to move one square in front of me, basically we need to go to this square, which means we need to go here. So here 1, there 2, here 3. Here 1, there 2. And then we should be able to look over here and see the 3, which is right there. Boink. Now this line's done. This line should be done. Nope, that one over there is not done. So boop. Knock it out. This line has these two that need done. And there's usually one like way over there in that corner that needs to be done. So and it looks like this guy needs done too. Alright, so we have a couple of. We're going to step here. Turn this one on. Then we're going to turn all the way around. That's the one behind us. Alright. And we have one way over there. And we have this one right next to us. So again, we're going to go here. Here. Turn around. There's their piece that we're missing. Remember, we're keeping in mind that we're turning to the west. Go right here. Bloop. Alright, so now we just have one more left, way over here in this corner. Two forwards there. We can get there from here. I should finish this up. Now there's a chest right here. Okay? So let's talk about how you can get to this chest without navigating this puzzle with much difficulty, right? So, if you exit the quest, or not the quest, the puzzle, right? But you want to get this chest. Go in. Make sure I do this right. I don't want to tell people lies. You go in on the single bubble. Turn around. You'll see that chest right here. You just go to it. Bam. It's 2 moves. It's 2 moves from the end. So once you've exited the quest, the single bubble, then you can turn around, look at it, walk towards the chest, and you'll teleport to it. Very simple. Very easy to navigate. Same thing to exit. Again, we're going to head north. In the quickest, most direct route we can find our way north. 2 moves in, 2 moves out to get to that treasure chest. Alright. Now that we dealt with the puzzle is the thing that gets people almost as confused as the infight. The infight's the toughest part of this quest, but that puzzle really messes with people. I really hope this solidifies that puzzle for a lot of people right there. Hi, what are you doing, little kobolds? Wow, that kobold warrior lived. Guess everybody rolls a 20 sometimes. Not really a necro wizard though. DC is not great. 43. Maybe 44, pretty quick, but it's fine. Alright, so now we're gonna talk about some stuff. We're also gonna set up a safety net. So whenever possible, I like to have a safety net in this quest. And what the safety net does is nothing but target this valve. Okay? Just pulls that valve, opens it, so lets us go downstairs. Then we have our regular hireling. Stands up here, casts healing magics on us. The only time we worry about the safety net character is if we're dead. The rest of the time, we're going to do everything we can to not die, basically. It's not that hard. So we're going to activate our various boosts. Now, when we run into this room, all sorts of nasty, goobery stuff is going to spawn and happen. But we're not going to worry about it. We're going to stay focused. We're going to take out this kobold. This kobold will leash if we leave this room. So we want to just focus everything we have on knocking out this kobold as quickly and efficiently as we can. Okay? He is tough. Alright, so we're going to have to duck. We don't want to leave this room. We heal. We drink whatever potions we got. We throw whatever potions at our feet we can get away with. But we don't want to leave. If we do leave, we have to D-door. Otherwise that guy will reset. Oh, we got. Okay, that's okay. Getting murdered in this room is not that big of a deal. Because this kobold doesn't reset if we're murdered. There's nobody left in this room. That kobold continues to sit at that 6,000 hit points. Okay? So now we're just going to walk back. Very, not a big deal. Have our hireling heal us. Get our heal. On the hardcore server, a little bit bigger a deal. I wouldn't recommend doing this on Reaper on the hardcore server unless you are extremely confident. I think I was in here, like I said, last week helping out V-Love get a little bit of experience points, and I feel like I ran through this on Samius and didn't die. But that is not the normal. Okay, so we're going to target the kobold. We're going to rush the kobold. Again, if we get killed, it's not that big of a deal. We just want this kobold taken out. We have planned to die. We have a plan in place. Alright, so now bang. Kobold's down. Now we can exit this area. Get our heal. Take out this Famine Reaper. I think was part of the problem. Is that we had the nasty Reaper spawn on us. And we want to just make sure that our guy is far enough away. Because these living meteor swarms and all this stuff, they're still aggroed on us. They have not forgiven us for our grave sins of attacking their brave leader. And all we're going to do now is we're going to attack this Perforon. We just stay as far back away as we can. Just going to take him out. whenever we need to, we're going to duck around the corner, get a heal. Realize that occasionally these methods are going to do bad things to us. Oh, looks like our guy might get gotten. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he's going to live. No, he just died, right? Oh, no, he lived. 2 hit points, but he lived. Alright. I'm impressed. Good job, little guy. Again, this quest is not about realizing when you're by yourself. It's not that you're never going to die. Because you're probably going to die. This quest is about being patient and cleaning up your mess. As far as I'm concerned. I've literally sat here on a bow cleric. Oh yeah, I should probably activate this too. That would really help. On a bow cleric with completely naked except for my like bow weapon or throwing weapon or whatever it happened to be that I had, and sat there completely naked and just ranged that Perfion down. It's just a matter of patience. Alright, now that we have the 2 red names down, the spawns will not respawn anymore. They'll leash, which is annoying, but they won't respawn. So once you start taking things out, they'll be out for good. Or you can ignore them. The goal now is to open the chest and loot the... what is it? Like a crystal of Kyber or something. Each quest has a different colored gem. White, blue, black. And I don't remember. I think this is the black one. The kobolds are Kyber. And also, if you've got some WAS skills, you can look for the fireball, arm raising, and duck behind the corner. I just feel like in that initial batch, there's just so much stuff going on that's so difficult to see all the things happening. Don't even try. Don't worry about it. Have a plan to get killed, because it's going to happen. All right. Speaking of which, really quickly, since we're back here, if something were to happen, right? What you would do is you would either highlight this valve, or you would have your Ellery click her last interactable, which should be this valve. Kona Cold will jet out, and you can run up here and click the shrine. Okay? Depending on how far back you are when your stone poops, which is part of the reason why I always go back to kind of reset after fighting the... I think those guys are just going to ignore us. After fighting the... This is the thing I was talking about. Kyber Dragon Shard Essence.
You have acquired the Kyber Dragon Shard Essence that key in Rick.
Nope, these guys are not going to just ignore us. Okay. That's why I always go back in that hallway to fight everything else after the Kobold. Right? And I don't... If I end up dying fighting the Kobold, again, it's not that big of a deal because I have a hireling that I have for that. This chest, it can be picked even in combat. It's not too bad. And like I said, you can detour out of this room. Say you're on the hardcore server and things are going bad. You can detour out. You can rerun through the quest. You can shrine along the way. Again, remember there's that shrine right there at the beginning of the quest. So lots of outs, and you have to recall out of this dungeon. All right, well that's Enter the Kobold. Again, we already did it once. It took us 30 minutes, which is a little longer than it probably should have taken, but not totally unreasonable for Reaper. And you should have a good time. Alright everyone, with that I'm going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. Please interact with it if you wouldn't mind. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you again soon. Toodles!